I'm not dating right now, but if there's a man out there and he's interested in me, if you are nonchalant, get the fuck away from me! Stay the fuck away from me. Go date your friends if you want to act like we're homies.
Welcome to The Wall. Today, we will watch a painful video of a mother revealing to her son through a DNA test that the child he thought was his isn't actually his. We will also discuss how unfair the child support system can be for men and how some women use it to finance their lives. We invite you to smash that like button, support the movement, and subscribe to the channel. That's the only contribution we ask from you, man. Add your 2 cents to the movement, share your experience in the comments for any man who needs it. And without further introduction, let's get started.
Yes, you will, because you know what? No. You're going to stay with her, right? You're going to stay with her? Right here. Yes, I am. I'm here. Well, what? No. I will? What, for telling the truth? You done lost your whole mind. Oh, mind. Listen, ain't no mama gonna do it's this. Okay. You don't think I'm disappointed? You don't think I'm disappointed that that ain't my grandchild? You don't think I'm disappointed that you picked that and I've been up here giving up my money and my time? I have things I could have been doing.
You never right from day. Just admit that.
Anybody but that. Anybody but her. Yes, no, I didn't like her.
Everything
No.
else on other things. And you talk about accountability, but you can't sit here and talk about the real reason why you never wanted me to be well.
It's my fault.
Sasha has nothing to do with this. Everything that you've been doing lately is because of your vendetta with Sasha. That has nothing to do with the truth.
I see. So what I did was I made sure that baby has nothing in common with you or me. I'm the reason why it's a big 0 on that piece of paper. Is that what you're trying to say? I'm the one who put my, Lord Jesus, hold. Oh, Lord, let me hold my peace. Boy, listen. Grow up and be a man. Face the facts. And just go ahead and move on. Move on with your life, boy. Move on. That is not your child. That is not my grandchild. The $10,000, keep it. Keep it.
Responsibility as a man. You wouldn't know what a man is anyways, because as soon as I was born, what did Pops do? He left. He left you and he left me. So how would you know what a good man is?
Oh, Lord Jesus. I know you ain't going there. Let me tell you something. Your daddy was, yes, he was. He was. Yes, he was. Yes, and you know what? You know what? Sometimes the apple don't fall that far from the tree. You understand me? No, so listen to me. You know what? Take it from my side of the family. Do what you got to do. Face the fact and just move on. You know what? So being mad at me, be mad. That's what you need to do. No. Look, you need to ask her. Oh, I'm just her. That's the question. You all up in my face. Getting in the face of your so-called woman. She's not even a woman. A woman is somebody you can trust. A woman, when you do a DNA test, it'll be in the 99s, baby, not in the zeros. No, you can't trust me, but you know who you really can't trust? That.
I don't think this is real. I can't trust nothing about you.
Okay.
I'm going home.
Okay. Do that.
And I'm leaving, Mama. Okay. After today, do not contact me no more.
Boy,
I don't want to hear from you. I don't want nothing to do with you no more. And that's on everything. That's on God.
Well, you know what? You go ahead. Go ahead. Leave. But on your way out, pick up some because you need them.
This is painful. This man, perhaps due to the impact of this news, is saying these things. When his mind is calmer, he might think better about it. But I also see an emotional reaction. This is a man raised by a single mother. These men always tend to be very emotional. A more masculine man would be angrier with the woman who hurt him than with his mother. This man is angry because his beautiful bubble was burst, or simply because he loves that girl. Seeing his anger towards his mother, it seems to me that this is the kind of man who was told at some point that the girl wasn't his or that she didn't look like him. But as they grow to love the children, they don't want to know the truth. The mother, seeing that this is her son, doesn't like the idea of him being used as a fool. That's why she says that woman is not good. Apparently, the mother doesn't get along with the wife and knew she wasn't good for him. Believe me, a mother always knows. She saw that grandchild in an unemotional way and knew he wasn't her son's. His DNA doesn't run through their lineage. She is right. He has to face the situation like a man now. It doesn't make you an enemy of the person watching your back and saving you from future pain, because the real father might show up tomorrow, or the woman might tell him when the girl is a teenager. Sometimes it's better, even if it hurts, to cure the disease early than to live with a permanent pain over time. Now I want you to leave in the comments what you think about this. Is the mother right? Or should she not have gotten involved?
How the fuck is it that men can have their wages garnished, lose their license, and even go to jail for not paying child support, and yet there is zero accountability from the women to show proof that that money is actually being spent on the children?
I agree with everything that she's saying in this post. And the interesting part about it is that if a man ends up in jail and losing his job because he's in jail over paying child support, then all the women crying about the little amount of pennies that they get in child support goes from pennies to literally nothing. And is that better for the child? But additionally, I do agree that child support needs to be on some kind of debit card, or there has to be some kind of form or proof of where the money is going and that it's actually being spent on the child. Because there are plenty of women out there that get loads of child support and have nothing to show for it. A lot of women are overspenders and financial abusers and abuse the dad through the children. A lot of these women, you have to remember, are getting a lot of child support. They might be on government assistance. They're getting help from their parents. They're not claiming income. They're making a lot more than they say they are. And they're financial abusers, which is why I wholeheartedly believe that there needs to be more proof as to where this money is going. Okay, bye.
Absolutely. There are even women who are gold diggers, just waiting to find a well-off man to get pregnant by, just to live off child support from these men. They always claim that the money is for the child. Some men pay up to $2,000, and if they are athletes or earn over $200,000 a year, they take between $5,000 and $10,000 for a child. Do you really think a child consumes that much every month? There are men who pay more in child support each year than their ex-wife makes working. This country is so unfair that even if the father keeps the children, the women don't pay child support. And when you try to enforce it, they always find a legal loophole to get out of it. There are men who, just for owing $20,000 in back support, are hunted down and sent to jail. But there are women who owe the father almost double and nothing happens to them. If you doubt it, look at the following case from the voice of a family lawyer to see how unfair this system is.
This is another child support horror story. Mom and dad get divorced. They have a child, a little girl. She's about 10 or 11 at the time they get divorced. Dad agrees to pay for all extracurricular activities for the little girl. I don't know why he did that, but he did. Didn't have any limitations on it, just said Dad will pay for all extracurricular activities. Well, Mom gets remarried, and she marries a neurosurgeon, and the neurosurgeon's making about $500,000 a year. And he takes a liking to the little girl, and he actually likes horses. So he starts getting the little girl into horses, and the little girl begins to take riding lessons, private riding lessons, an extracurricular activity to the tune of about $25,000 to $30,000 a year. So Mom immediately demands that Dad pay that. After all, he agreed to pay extracurricular activities. Dad can't pay it. He's making about $60,000 a year. He can't afford that. So Mom takes him back to court for contempt. Well, guess what the judge did?
I will give a piece of advice to all men, young or old. This applies to almost all general matters. When you have problems or are about to make legal decisions like this, analyze your situation thoroughly and get advice from your lawyer, because this was a fatal decision. If you want, ask artificial intelligence about potential future problems and have it outline the worst-case scenarios, because this man is currently in the worst possible scenario. And as I said, this system is unfair to men. Let's watch the second part.
So Mom's demanding that Dad pay for these extracurricular activities, the horse riding lessons, private for $30,000. He can't do it, doesn't make the money. So she takes him back to court. Well, the judge, here's the evidence, here's the case, and the judge does the right thing. The judge says, look, in every single contract, which in essence a parenting plan is, there's a certain understanding that it's reasonable. It's got to be reasonable. There's some reasonable basis for it. This is unreasonable. These do not constitute reasonable extracurricular activity expenses. So what the judge did is he said, Dad only has to pay for a portion of that. And I think it was like $5,000. The point being is don't ever, if you're a person going through a divorce and entering into a parenting plan, agree to pay anything without restrictions. There need to be restrictions placed on all extracurricular activities to say agreed upon and reasonable expenses.
I completely agree with him, because you shouldn't put yourself in a situation where you can get screwed tomorrow. That's what this man did. One thing I recognize about women is that they have immense creativity when it comes to screwing over men when they want to, and they often get away with it. That's why I've always said, when your wife mentions the word divorce, don't take it lightly. Don't wait weeks or months. Immediately seek out the best lawyer possible. Write to your family and prepare for the worst. If the situation was just a warning, at least you have your contingency plan, because women always have a contingency plan. I've been saying that in most divorces, when the woman asks for it, she's already prepared to attack. That's why you see many men ruined, because they didn't have time to prepare their contingency plan. I know it's a painful moment, but a masculine man cannot act emotionally. He has to be pragmatic, control his emotions, and take care of himself. You can't collapse, because the moment you do, you've already lost. Above all, trust your lawyer. If your lawyer recommends certain clauses, it's because they know what's coming in the future, because they all have the same modus operandi. Don't be stupid. It's like the DNA test. Don't think, that won't happen to me. Because every man who has been a victim of paternity fraud, guess what? Thought it would never happen to them.
It's funny because it's true.
Okay. So, a lot of you that have been here might know what I'm talking about, but I'm gonna give a little reference before I just jump into the update. I took a 23andMe test back in April of 2022. Results came back weird. I came back like white, super white, and my dad is half Mexican. The dad that my mom is still married to and was married to for a few years prior to my conception. That's an important detail. Left some room for doubt because I didn't recognize a single match. Not last name, nothing. Dropped a screenshot of my whiteness level in the family group chat and nothing. So, weird, okay? Fast forward to November of 2022. I get an email that I have a new match. I click it and it's my first cousin on my mom's side. So I'm like, well, it's definitely my DNA. And so at this point, I'm like, I have a couple options. I can talk to my mom, who I don't have a super solid relationship with. She has really bad drinking problems that started when I was like a preteen, and it's just degraded our relationship. So, or I can take another one. So I take Ancestry. Larger database was recommended to me by some family members. And so I take that. That comes back. I took that January, came back end of February. Still white as you can get. You think of the whitest countries in America, and I'm made up of those. So I'm like, my dad's not my dad. Like, there's no way. My brother is definitely my dad. Looks just like him. But I've joked my whole life, I look like neither of my parents. I must be the mailman's kid. So yeah. That's what I've been dealing with. And it's kind of a mental fuck a little bit, because on one hand, it feels like it doesn't change anything. I'm almost 32 and the man who raised me is still my dad, but on the other hand, it feels so different because half of who I am made up of, I didn't know until I was 31 years old. So yeah, if you or someone you know has experienced this and you have advice, I will take any and everything.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
The mother will surely come up with a cheap excuse, claiming she didn't know what she was doing, that her youth was a very confusing time, and that she deserves forgiveness because it happened a long time ago. You know what she'll do? Sweep it under the rug, because responsibility is kryptonite for women. They don't like to deal with the messes they create. Then you see kids growing up depressed, with doubts about one of their parents, because I've heard this horrible phrase from single mothers: a man isn't who fathers a child, but who raises them. That's a total fallacy. A man is the one who plants the seed. Many women have a Chad they were once in love with, a man who brings nothing to the table except his seed. These are the men they really want their children from. When they get pregnant, most know this man won't be a good father. They just want him for his genes and the emotional value he gives them. Then they go after the beta provider, the one who can offer economic security, and they tell him the child is his. But genes don't lie. And there are children who are too refined to be the sons of some men. That's why I say if the child has to resemble me, it should be in the blood. Mandatory DNA tests. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. Do you think this mother was right in doing a DNA test on her grandchildren? Do you think the family court system is fair to men? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from The Wall.